as a engineer, statistician, numbers geek, the 80-20 principle is exciting for a lot of reasons, I would imagine. One of them being, I've heard you refer to it as it being a fractal element of Earth, right? Meaning that inside of the 80-20 principle, you'll find other replicas of the 80-20 and then be able to dig down further and find a smaller 80-20, et cetera. Can you explain sort of that notion first? And then I want to dig into kind of how you do the segmentation and how you approach that at specific sizes.
So this is incredibly powerful. It gives you insight on a million things. Most people do know at some level that 20% of the people have 80% of the money, and 20% of the real estate is owned by 80% of the people, and then the other 80% is owned by the 20%. And a lot of salespeople know that 20% of your customers buy 80% of your stuff and write 80% of the checks, and that is true. But when I realized that not only does 20% produce 80%, but 20% of the 20% produces 80% of the 80%, and 20 of the 20 of 20 produces 80 of the 80 of the 80, I was like, whoa! Because that means if there's 8 billion people in the world and there's, I don't know, $100 trillion floating around, there's going to be one Jeff Bezos. Mm-hmm. And if there's 200 countries in a world of 8 billion people, there's going to be one country the size of China. It's almost a law of physics. It means that 1% of your customers could give you as much as 50% of your business. It's really true. And so it means that there's a whole bunch of customers that you should be mostly ignoring. And I'm not saying be apathetic, okay, but you should be selective about, okay, who gets 14 hours of tech support and who doesn't? Mm-hmm. Okay? Who do you bend over backwards to please and who do you not? Most companies have some guy named Dimitri who calls them up like every 2 weeks and wants hours of tech support, and he only spends $2,500 a year. Okay, and then most companies have some other client who sends in a $600,000 purchase order on a fax machine once every 2 years, and nobody has any idea who these people are. They've never been to see them. They've never called them on the phone. They don't know their name, right? And they're not a squeaky wheel, so they don't pay any attention to them. Meanwhile, Dimitri just chewed up 27 hours of some software guy's tech support time. When the company that's sending in the fax every 2 years, if somebody would fly to Oklahoma and meet with those people, they might find out that they have 16 other factories and they could buy a whole bunch of stuff. And so usually the amount of time that we're spending on customers has very little correlation to the amount of money that we actually make from them. And that some of those people are chewing up inordinate amounts of wasted time. And so it also means there are huge levers. So when I wrote the Google Ads book, which is now in its 6th edition, what I really did was I just applied 80-20 to Google Ads. What it really boils down to is you've got all these columns and all these spreadsheets and all these menus and all of these features, and only 10% of it matters, and you can ignore the other 90%, or maybe even shut it off. And you should probably delete or eliminate the bottom 10 or 20% right off the bat. And you focus 90% of your effort on 5% of your Google account. And that's where all of the money is made. And there's certain things that you just watch like a hawk. And there's certain numbers that you absolutely positively need to know. And if you know all that, the thing can run like a lead sled and it can make you money for years. And it also means that the amount of time that you need to spend maintaining your account, you could spend 2 hours a week just sort of wasting your time, or you could spend 2 hours a week being incredibly productive and making it better and better and better and better, and eventually wiping out most of your competition. So really all I did was took the 80-20 principle and apply it to Google. And then we did a Facebook book, and then we did it there. And then we did a TikTok book. The TikTok book probably has 3 chapters about 80-20, because 80-20 is how it all really works. It will completely change your life.